When you get to the Lochner case, the Lochner case is in 1905. The majority rules 5-4 that the right to make a contract is part of your due process. Someone can't deprive you of determining how long your working hours are without due process. So President Obama is a big opponent to this, but I would ask him, among the other things I'm asking him today, to rethink the Lochner case. Because the Lochner case really is what precedes and what the case Buchanan v. Worley is predicated upon. In Buchanan v. Worley is a case in 1917. Interestingly, it comes from my state, from Louisville, Kentucky. There's a young African-American attorney by the name of William Worley. He's a Republican, like most African-Americans were in Louisville in those days. He was a founder of the NAACP. And like most founders of the NAACP, a Republican. And so what they do in 1914 is they sue because the Kentucky legislature, by majority rule, by democratic action, passes a law saying a white person can't sell to a black person in a white section of town or vice versa. So this is the first case the NAACP brings up. Moorfield Story was the famous, I think he was the first president of NAACP, famous attorney. Him and an attorney by the name of, I think it's Clinton Blanky. But they go forward with this case, and they win the case. It actually passes overwhelmingly. But interestingly, this case to end Jim Crow is based on the Lochner decision. So those who don't like the Lochner decision, I'd say go back. We need to reassess Lochner. In fact, there's a good book by Bernstein from George Mason talking about rehabilitating Lochner. The thing is that with majority rule, if you say we're going to give deference to majority rule, or we're going to have judicial restraint, and we're going to say, well, whatever the majority wants is fine, you set yourself up for a diminishment of rights. I go back to the discussion of the Constitution limits power that is given to Congress, but it doesn't limit rights. The powers are enumerated, your rights are unenumerated. The powers given to the government are few and defined, the freedoms left to you are many and undefined. And that's important. And what does this have to do with Lochner? The case in Lochner is whether a majority rule, a state legislature, can take away your due process to contract. Can they take away your life and liberty without due process? And the court rules no. I think it's a wonderful decision. It expands the 14th Amendment and says to the people that you have unenumerated rights. Now, there's some dissension on how we look at these cases.